Hello guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Brianna Gabrielle and I'm so glad that you guys can make it. If you haven't already subscribed, make sure you go ahead and subscribe and hit that like button. So in today's video, we are going to be doing my current March reads that I have already read for the past March. I know there's a couple days left in March, but I just said let's go ahead and do the currents that I've already read. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with this book. I want to rate this book as being a 4. This is The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. This book is by Taylor Jenkins Reid. So this book is basically about Evelyn Hugo. She is a Hollywood superstar. It talks about how she became from rags to riches. She has 7 husbands, of course, so it's kind of a shocker. And it just basically talks about how she uses all of those 7 husbands to get to where she needs to be. So at some point in her life, Evelyn decided that she wanted to have her story biography. So she ended up calling this writer named Monique, and she asked Monique to kind of write everything about her life. There is a plot twist in this book as to why she specifically called Monique. She did not want anyone else. This book is also based off on the 1950s. So this book is just about the world in the 1950s and how Evelyn herself and a few more people had a couple of secrets that really couldn't be let out, otherwise it would jeopardize their career. So it kind of goes in depth about that. And I honestly love this book, y'all. I don't want to give too much away, don't want to give much of a spoiler, but I would say go ahead and read this book. It's not romantic. It has a little bit of romance. It's not smutty or anything like that, but it's good. It kept me on my toes. If you haven't read it, go ahead and check it out. Okay, guys, so the next book that I read, I literally just finished this book. This book took me 2 days to read, y'all. When I say I enjoyed this book, I devoured this book. Okay, so this book right here is called Desperate Measures by Kate Roberts. So this book right here, honey, this book is going based off of Jafar and Jasmine. It's more of a Disney retelling, but it's kind of a Disney villain retelling. So as you guys know, Jasmine is the princess, and I think Jafar, I forgot what he was in the Disney movie, but anyway, it's about Jasmine and Jafar. So it's more of like a snake, and it just kind of talks about how Jafar is the villain of the story. So basically, Jasmine is a princess. She was locked away in her father's castle for a while. And her father sold her to this guy named Ali, who is Aladdin. So her father sold her. Aladdin was in this case the good guy, and Jafar was not going for it. He did not approve that. So he went and he killed her father, and then he captured Jasmine. So in this case, she's still more of in captive, but she's trying to find out, does she like him or should she leave? So I'll go ahead and read the back. So it says, my savior or my ruin. One night in my entire life went up in flames, all because of him, Jafar. As my world burned down around me, he offered me a choice: walk away with nothing but my freedom, or rise to his challenge and win my fortune back. I bargained. I lost. Now Jafar owns me, and even as my mind rails against his rules, my body loves the punishments he deals out when I break them. But a gilded cage is still a prison. I do anything to obtain my freedom, even betray the man I'm falling for. So this book, I'm gonna rate this book a 5. It has so much smut in there, y'all. If I can read this book again and forget everything that I read, I would read it again. I literally never want to get rid of this book. Like, y'all, this book, it was really good. So the next book that I read is my favorite book of all times. I didn't know that I would literally be so in tune with Disney Channel remakings, different characters, but this book right here, y'all, I know I said that The Desperate Measures was good, but this book right here, Hooked, oh my god, y'all, when I say I ain't never look at Captain Hook like he was just yum enough to eat, y'all. This book is called Hook. This is by Emily McIntyre. It is actually a series. So this book is basically about James, who is also known as Hook, and then it's also about Wendy. So basically, James always had one agenda: destroy his enemy, Peter Michaels. When Peter Michaels' 20-year-old daughter Wendy shows up in his bar, he sees his way in. Seduce the girl, use her for revenge is the perfect plan, until things in James' organizations begin to crumble. Suddenly he has a plan. He has to find the traitor in his midst, and his plan for revenge gets murkier. James starts to see Wendy as more than a pawn in his game. So Peter Michaels is, of course, Wendy's dad, and James was just supposed to go in with an agenda with Hook, but he actually ended up falling for Wendy. Wendy has clustered away most of her life by her cold, weatherly father, but a spontaneous night out with friends turns into an intense addiction love affair with the dark and brooded James. As much as she knows James is dangerous, Wendy can't seem to shake her desire for him. But as their relationship grows more heated, she learns more about the world he moves in. She finds herself unsure if she's falling for the man known as James or the monster known as Hook. Y'all, I was so in love with this book. I started reading it on Kindle, but I said, let me go ahead and get the physical book because I just had to touch it, baby. I had to touch it. It was so good. And then the other book that I have read currently, this book is called Wretched, and it's the same series as this book. There's a few more to it as well, so I'll go ahead and get those later on in life, and I will talk to you guys about that. So this book right here is called Wretched, same series. This one is by Emily McIntyre. This book was also really good. If I had to choose between the two, my favorite one would still be Hook, just because I truly loved Hook. So this book right here is about Evelina Wesley. Evelina Wesley has always been the bad guy. As the brain burns down, she basically is the bad guy. So basically, this book is about Evelina Wester, and it's also about Nicholas. So Nicholas is a DEA agent, and he's on a mission to go in and kind of track down Evelina's father, because he's ruthless, and I believe he ended up killing her family. I mean, no, her father ended up killing his dad or something like that in the past. So basically, Nicholas is on a hunt to go down and track down and figure out what's actually going on. He's trying to bust them for drugs. He's trying to basically get them, he's trying to get some kind of evidence so that he can put them into jail. But what he doesn't know is that Evelina Wesley is she's the man behind it all. She's the man behind everything, but he ended up falling for her when he's not supposed to fall for her. He kind of gets tied into this whole drug game, just kind of playing an undercover cop. But I don't want to give too much away about this book because I literally will. Y'all, this book is so good. So basically, Nicholas is just trying to figure out if he can bust her or if he can go ahead and live with the wretched woman and, you know, just kind of forgive her and overlook everything that her and her father done. But this book is amazing, guys. If you haven't read it, it's a good plot twist at the end. Something that I wouldn't have expected. Even in the middle of the book, it's something that I wouldn't have expected. But it's really good. And this book is also based off of The Wizard of Oz as well. So it's based off of The Wizard of Oz. So there's Dorothy in here. Just a few more other characters. This is really a good book. And then this book has been so popular on TikTok. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I would also rate, and I would also go ahead and rate this book a 5 as well. So this book, The Twisted Hate, this book is by Anna Hung. This is book 3 of the Twisted series. This book is really good. I've heard a lot of people talking about this book on TikTok. I enjoyed this book. I really did. It's basically about this guy named Josh Chan and this girl named Jules Ambrose. So Josh is basically Jules' best friend's brother, and like throughout life they never liked each other, couldn't stand each other. In some kind of way they ended up liking each other. So they went on a vacation and they kind of realized that they actually liked each other, came back from the vacation and they found out that they were working together. So they said they had to just kind of make an agreement not to fight, not to fuss, just kind of keep things cordial for work related. This book is a little bit of spicy. So one day Josh and Jules kind of couldn't really keep themselves from each other, so they ended up doing some smut, and then they kind of made this deal, basically no jealousy, no strings attached, and absolutely no falling in love. But of course, as things goes, they end up falling for each other. So this is a very thick book, but it's also a good book. I would go ahead and rate this book maybe like a 4 out of 5 for Twisted Hate. There is a series, I think it's 3 or 4 more of these things, but it's a really good book as well. So this next book that I have read for March is called The Ritual, guys. So this book is called The Ritual. I hope that you guys can see good. There's a huge glare on it, but this book was my first dark romance. And guys, when I say I could not hold back from this book, I probably was just needing to be in the closet. I needed to be in the dark. Like, y'all, when I say this book was so amazing, so smutty, it's just something that you can't turn back from for being your first dark romance book. I did not know what I was getting myself into, but basically this book is a college dark romance series, and it's called The Ritual. So basically it's about this school. I can't remember the name of the school, but the guys are in the school, and throughout their years of college, I think on your 4th year you ended up gifted a woman, and with that woman you can literally take her and do anything with her. But they are in an arranged marriage, so they only have this woman for like 1 year, and then after that, when they graduate, basically you're getting married to the person that you were already arranged to. So yes, y'all, this was the kinkiest book. This book had a little bit of smut, a little bit of tying up, killing. I would say go ahead and kind of read the reviews first if you are not into dark romance and killing. It was a little bit of killing in here. Also was a little bit of just disturbing things in this book. So if you're not really into things like that, just kind of go ahead and check the age warning before you read this book, and just kind of, you know, do some information. But this book was amazing, y'all. If I can read this book again, I'll read it again. This is my favorite book, The Ritual. The next book that we have is called Tyrant by Sarah Bailey. So Tyrant by Sarah Bailey is basically about this girl. She basically lost her job, and she was getting evicted. And when she lost her job and got evicted, she ended up getting these letters in the mail. Basically, in the letters in the mail were just checks. So each one of these checks had a word at the end. So it's basically, you belong to me. So when she got that last check, someone came and picked her up, and they said, hey, you know, let's go. It's, you know, it's time for me and you to go. And she was like, no, why am I leaving with you? And he was like, well, you gotta go. So she ended up leaving, and she basically was just owned by this guy right here. I forgot his name in the book, y'all. I seriously forgot everybody's name, but she basically was owned by him in the book, and he kind of took her and just did whatever with her that he wanted to. This was also a smutty book. I actually adored this book. This book was amazing. So you can find this on Kindle, or you can just find it on Amazon or something like that. But this is a good book. Not as smutty as my other books, but it'll do. I liked this book as well. So the last book that I did read on Kindle was Credence. And y'all, let me tell y'all something. TikTok had this book hyped to the fullest, and I was like, okay, maybe not. I don't know. Let's go ahead and check it. Y'all, when I read this book, honey, I was like, Penelope Douglas, girl, you can always be my favorite. Like, I just want her to know she can always be my favorite author. Her and Emily McTire, y'all can always be my favorite. But anyways, Credence is about this girl. Her name is Terraman. Her family ended up dying. They were wealthy. Her father and her mother ended up dying, and she had to move across town with her uncle and his 2 kids, well, his 2 sons that she knew nothing about, didn't know anything about these people. She only knew that she had an uncle. They only knew that they had a cousin and a niece. So she ended up moving with them, and throughout the winter, it kind of got a little hectic. It got snowed in for a couple of months. She had to stay with them. So basically it was just a battle of her with 3 men, hormones raging. She literally had these men falling at her foot like it wasn't anything. They were all just, you know, fighting over her. But y'all, I don't want to get into too much about this book, but Credence is really, really good. I would say that it's something that I wouldn't do in real life. But it is a little bit about family, incest, and just her kind of fooling around with all 3 of her family members. But when I tell y'all so many spicy chapters up in this book, it's some good stuff. I liked this book, so that was one of the books that I enjoyed as well, Credence. And then the last book that I did enjoy, this book that I also enjoyed was called Promises and Pomegranates. This book right here is also a series. This is number 1 in the series. I didn't really get to buy the rest of them, only because this book was pretty good, but it wasn't my type of speed. So will I buy the rest of the series? I don't know. I just kind of want to see how it lives up to its expectations. So I may buy the rest of the series. Like I said, I'm just not sure yet on if I want to. But this book is basically about a girl named Elena and a guy named Cal. So Elena was originally supposed to get married to this other guy upon marriage time, and her father and Cal really didn't approve of it. So Cal was sent to go and kill her fiance, and then Elena got into this marriage, well, to this forced marriage with Cal. She didn't approve of it. Her mother didn't approve of it or anything like that. This book was really, really good. There is a plot twist where Cal has a secret, as well as Elena's mom has a secret as to why she did not want Elena with Cal. So basically this book is just really about more of like a captive type of thing, captive marriage, arranged marriage, just her not wanting to really be married with him. She ended up falling in love with him, and just a few more things. So this book is really, really good. Like I said, it wasn't really my speed, but I kind of enjoyed the book. I'll just go ahead and read the back to you guys. To most, Cal Anderson is a villain, harbinger of death, keeper of souls, frequenter of nightmares, Dr. Death. They say he stole me. Unspurged my fiance, filled the cracks of my heart with empty promises, imprinted his crimson fingerprints on my physique, and tried to set me free. They're not wrong per se. Exception was my choice to stay. Cal. To most, Elena Ricci is an innocent goddess of springtime, lover of poetry, angel of my nightmares, little one, Persephone. They say I ruined her, shattered her virtue, and devoured her soul like a succulent pomegranate. Embedded my evil as deep as I could possibly to get, and tried to set her free. They're not wrong per se. Exception was how she ruined me. So basically, that is that book. So guys, I hope that you guys have enjoyed this little March book wrap up. I do have more books that I'm currently reading, so I probably will get through them. I'm gonna do a video on them. If not, I'll go ahead and just kind of toss those on to February. But if you guys have enjoyed this video, make sure you go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell button. And without further ado, I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you out in the next video. Bye.